Hi, today's good person to know is Neil Barnes. He's head of insight and traffic at Friday Media Group, and his talk is on page loading times, and he gives some really insightful information as to what people are doing on the internet. He says people will abandon your website if it doesn't load within a reasonable period of time, and that's a real shame if you're an online business. So what's a reasonable period of time? Would you believe it's just 3 seconds? That's all. And if you can't get your website to open within 3 seconds, then you've lost a potential customer, because first impressions really do count. 3 seconds, imagine it. 1, 2, 3, and you've lost your customers. But if you do it right, it can put you in the best possible position in terms of reducing abandonment, which will increase traffic, improve conversion, usability, and SEO. And did I hear you say SEO? What's it got to do with it? Well, not only do people like quicker websites, but so does Google. Neil recommends making page loading times a KPI and says use Google Analytics to test for it, and explains the process to go through to pinpoint how fast your website loads, and says it's one of the most underutilized reporting tools in analytics. And it even has a speed suggestion tool within it, so it provides you with solutions so that analytics and developers within your organization can work together to build better testing strategies. Now, I know it all seems a little bit far-fetched. If your site doesn't open within 1, 2, 3 seconds, you've just lost a customer. But that really is a difference between success and failure, especially if you're an online business. So I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.
How do you go about creating that lasting first impression? Now, there's been some research carried out into this, and it highlights that 3's the magic number. 40% of users abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. The research also shows that it takes nearly 3 seconds for a user to form their first impression of your website. It actually goes beyond that vital first impression. Because in essence, website users love fast websites. Speedy websites give the perception of a better UX experience. A better UX experience breeds happy users. They're going to be spending longer on your site and consuming more pages. But it's not only users that love fast websites. Just as importantly, Google loves fast websites as well. Since 2010, page load speed has formed a factor in Google's search ranking algorithm. In addition to that, there's also a conversion benefit in terms of focusing on page load speed as well. And it really is the case that small improvements lead to big gains. A 1 second improvement in your page load could mean as much as a 7% improvement in your online conversion. So, in essence, fast loading sites provide a platform for increased conversions, and also will help as part of your conversion rate optimization efforts as well. There's also a traffic benefit in terms of focusing on page load speed as well, in terms of increased quality traffic, and also there's SEO benefits, as we've touched upon. Finally, there's a business benefit as well. So improving your page load speeds can translate into more sales if you're an e-commerce business, but also faster sites mean reduced operating costs. So both of those factors together really help the bottom line of your business as well. That sounds great. I know page load speed impacts a lot of different areas across my website, my business, but where do I begin? Naturally think of a page load project as having some similarities to a CRO project. So the first step is to ensure that page load speed is a KPI. It's an important but often forgotten or neglected metric. As we've seen today, page load speed has a number of important factors on usability, traffic, conversions, and also to the bottom line of your business as well. So step 2 is to use Google Analytics to get a little bit more insight into your page load speed. Under the behaviours menu, you'll see there's a site speed submenu, and within that there's a whole suite of reporting looking at site speed and site speed metrics. Now this area is one of the most underutilised suites of reports in Google Analytics, but at the same time can be one of the most insightful set of reports as well. Now these are all Google Analytics reports, so they function in the same way as any other reports that you'd use in Google Analytics. So for example, you can segment the data, you can create secondary dimensions, and you can really start to drill down into the data to understand, for example, whether there's particular site pages that's a problem, whether it's desktop or mobile or both, is there problems by browser or by location. So lots of ways you can split the data and really get a detailed understanding of what's going on. But wait, there's more. There's this report within the reporting suite called the Speed Suggestions Report. Now this is a fantastic report, and it's got loads of really, really great insight in it. You'll see the 2 sets of columns to the right hand side there are metrics that are very specific to this report. So you can see There's a page speed suggestions column and a page speed score column as well. Now this data is derived from Google's page speed insights tool. I'll provide a link to that at the bottom of the slide there. But alternatively, you can click on any of the links in the page speed suggestions column and it will load it up for you. So what this does, it takes a page load, it splits it between mobile and desktop, and right at the top you can see a page load speed score out of 100. Now this is traffic lighted, so you can see in this particular instance, the page load speed score is red, which is suggesting that page load speed is an issue and needs some urgent attention. But where this report becomes really, really insightful is it actually starts to tell you where the problems are in your page load speed and allows you to focus on the correct areas to allow to improve this. Working with the analysts and the developers together, you can really shape a testing strategy based off of this data and know you're focusing in the right area and make a real difference to your page load speeds. Another top tip is to get even more from your site search speed data by making some small changes to your Google Analytics tags. Now by default, page load is calculated from 1% of your website's audience. Now that may be all well and good if you've got a highly trafficked site with lots of visitors, but what about if you've got a small, recently sort of newly launched site, or even a site that operates in a particular niche that the audience capability is quite small? 1% isn't really going to cut it. So in order to maximise the data that you've got and to be able to make decisions based off of robust data, you can use the set site speed sample rate pool to increase that sample to pretty much anything you like, to be able to capture more data, to be able to make more informed decisions. In terms of how to implement this, if you look at Universal Analytics, this can be implemented as follows. So in the line where you're defining the UA code and the domain name, you just add the site speed sample rate pool and the number of the percent you want at the end. One thing to note is that the sample is limited to a maximum of 10,000 daily visitors. So bear this in mind, if you've got a particularly large site and you've said, okay, I want to track 100% of my audience's page loads, it will cap it at 10,000. But bear in mind, that's on a daily basis, that's a huge amount of data.